Happy Monday, Dolphins fans. On today's show, we're talking some breakout candidates for Miami who can take that step, that leap to be an extra productive player for the Dolphins in 2024. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. I got 5 players I want to get into, but before we do that, I want to get better every single week. And this week, we are targeting likes. Last week, our most liked video was 406 likes. Not too shabby, if I have to say so myself. But I want to top that and get even better this week. So let's get 410 likes on today's video. Top last week and really get the momentum swinging here in early June. All right, the first breakout candidate we're going to talk about today is second-year running back De'Von Achane, who was drafted in the 3rd round a year ago out of Texas A&M. And if you watched our video that went out on Sunday, we already mentioned that he could be someone taking a larger role for the Dolphins in 2024. And it's really just been because of how busy he has been for the Dolphins in this offseason program. Due to Raheem Mostert being 32, rookie running back Jalen Wright not really being up to speed, it's really been a lot of Achane and Jeff Wilson at OTAs and minicamp, which has led Achane to getting the bulk of the work in running situations, pass catching situations in minicamp with the first team in 7-on-7 and 11-11. He's been basically the bell cow back for this first team offense that has been missing some of their top guys. And after a stellar rookie season a year ago, you could only expect him to get better. I mean, the numbers he put up were flat out ridiculous in only 11 games played. 800 rushing yards on 103 carries. That comes out to about a 7.8 yards per carry, which is just not sustainable, but it was unbelievable to see him break off for massive plays last season. And then you add in the passing game that he had of 27 receptions, 197 yards, and 11 total touchdowns. He was terrific as a rookie. I expect De'Von Achane to be heavily involved in the 2024 season for Miami offensively. He had a good role as a rookie, but I expect that to only increase for this upcoming season. Why? His work in the passing game. Mostert's still going to get a lot of the work in the red zone and on first and second downs, but they might use Achane as a slot receiver at times. They might try to get him the ball out of the backfield in terms of passing and drag routes, screens, because he is so dynamic with the ball in his hands. Entering year 2 in the NFL, Achane's only going to improve for his second season for the Miami Dolphins. And if you had to give a projection, this is what I would do. And I actually showed this projection on yesterday's video if you watched it. And the yardage might go down in terms of rushing total because he had 811 games for Miami last year. I have him at 714, but like I said, 7.8 yards per carry is simply just not sustainable whatsoever. So this total yards per carry, according to my projections, would be 5.1, which would be very good. Still have him in 11 total touchdowns, but I have an increase in carries, increase in receptions, and an increase in receiving yards. And I don't want to try to downplay Achane, but remember, Jalen Wright, even though I said he hasn't really done much in OTAs and minicamp to this point, he still was drafted relatively early, and the Dolphins sent a future 4th-round pick to get him in the, future 3rd-round pick to get him in the 4th round this draft. So they obviously have plans for Wright. Mostert's going to be there. I think Achane's going to be more involved and have a really strong season, but I just don't really think the numbers are really going to indicate his growth, but you'll be able to tell with your eyes on the screen. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are going to put out Dolphins videos every single day. We also go live on Tuesday afternoons breaking down the latest surrounding the Miami Dolphins. So hit that sub button if you haven't already. We're closing it on 57K. Help us get there ASAP. Let's head over to a defensive player now, Jordyn Brooks, the linebacker who signed with Miami in free agency, joining from the Seattle Seahawks. And I think he is going to be an excellent Jerome Baker replacement. And I know that's going to be a concern for this Dolphins defense a little bit, is they lost Baker. They lost Andrew Van Ginkel in free agency. But who did they replace him with? Well, you got Shaq Barrett on the edge to kind of replace Van Ginkel, and you also got Jordyn Brooks as well as Anthony Walker to replace Jerome Baker. And Brooks is someone who has had an astounding career after being a first-round pick out of Texas Tech for the Seahawks. He got off to a little bit of a slow start, but he is one of the best run defensive linebackers. He plugs gaps. He gets downhill. You trust his eyes, and he is so explosive, and he can deliver an absolute pop. Where a running back comes through that hole, he might not see Brooks coming on the other side, and boom, he's lowering the shoulder and knocking down the RB. I expect Brooks to be massive in the Dolphins' run defense. Him and Long are going to be one of the best duos in the entire AFC in terms of inside linebackers. The question surrounding Brooks has always been his coverage, and he's struggled whether it be against running backs or tight ends over the middle of the field. Career PFF coverage grade of 43.4. That is not good, but if he's able to progress and get a little bit better in this area, I'm not asking you to be an all-pro coverage linebacker. Just give me an average coverage linebacker rather than below average, and you're going to see a massive season for Jordyn Brooks in Miami. Today's show is sponsored by Mando, the best deodorant in the business, and you need to get started today. As we approach summer, it's getting hot in Miami. It's getting hot everywhere in June. Mando is clinically proven to work hard all day. Instead of covering up BO with heavy fragrances, Mando stops odor at the source, stopping the stink from happening in the first place. Created by a doctor, Mando whole body deodorant, is powerful enough for the toughest body odor, but gentle enough to use everywhere, allowing you to put Mando on family jewels without any worry. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, where it be mini body wash and deodorant wipes, as long as free shipping. I currently am using that Mount Fuji Mando deodorant, and producer Chugs can definitely attest to how good I actually smell. But there's other things that you can get in that starter pack, like I mentioned. There's the body wash bourbon leather. There's the deodorant wipes as well. You can get it all at Mando. And luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked up on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com. shopmando.com. Code CHAT, 40% off your starter pack, where you can get plenty of goodies. So get started today. That link and chat or in promo code will be in the description and comments of today's video. Next breakout candidate for the Dolphins, another newcomer from free agency, Jonnu Smith, the tight end who is joining us from the Atlanta Falcons. I am so bullish on Smith and think he is going to have a massive role in this Mike McDaniel offense for 2024. Why? He is the best yak tight end in the entire NFL. He has been absolutely phenomenal throughout his career in terms of getting the ball in short yardage situations and taking advantage and making the most out of it. What do I mean by that? He's an absolute king. He ranked third in the NFL, just tight ends, behind George Kittle and David Njoku in 2023 in terms of yards per catch per reception. He averaged 7.1 yards after the catch on every single one. He is a phenomenal ball carrier with the ball in his hands. And just for some context, by the way, that 7.1 yards per catch per reception would be the best on the Miami Dolphins from last season. The top two were Waddle and Hill. No surprise there, but 5.8 and 5.5. Jonnu Smith is elite. And also, he is really good in screenplay. He is also, and this is not just tight ends, this is the entire NFL, third in yards added over expectation on screenplays. You see it right there, working with Debo, Rashad Wright, Chase Brown, Joe Mixon. 3 running backs, a wide receiver, and then our tight end, Jonnu Smith. He is elite getting the ball and making the most out of his role. And I expect Jonnu Smith to have a massive role on this Dolphins offense. Tight ends have not really done too much in Miami over the past 2 seasons under Mike McDaniel, but entering year 3, I do expect him to incorporate a tight end in Jonnu Smith more, because with Smith being able to run drag routes, slants, match him up against a linebacker or a safety coming off the line, you can get him the ball kind of in check down situations, and he will make a lot of things happen. Averaged 7.1 yards after the catch on each reception a year ago. Expect Tua to have him as his security blanket often. Know he can dump it down to him on first and second down and still pick up 5 or 6 yards. Smith, best yak tight end in the NFL. He will be huge for Miami in 2024. And that brings me to this question. Will Jonnu Smith have more or less than 500 receiving yards for the Dolphins this season? Type M for more, type L for less. Just by the way, in case you're wondering why this is so low, Jonnu Smith has only had 500 yards or more in one season in his career. It was last year with the Falcons. Will he do it again? I think it's very possible. Let me know your answer down below. Heading back to a defensive player here, Cam Smith, the second-year corner out of South Carolina. This list features the second and third round picks from last year's NFL draft, and Cam Smith will absolutely be called upon for this Anthony Weaver defense just due to the sheer fact that there's not a lot of depth in this cornerback room. We've detailed this quite a bit in this offseason. You have a elite, if not the best cornerback duo in the NFL, and Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller on the outside. Kader Kohou is very serviceable in the nickel, and I expect a bounce-back season for him. But behind Ramsey and Fuller, Nick Needham, do you trust him to be your third guy on the boundary? He's also moving to safety potentially? No, you're probably going to expect a boost from Cam Smith. There's a reason why you took him in the top 55 picks a year ago in the second round. You expect Cam Smith to give you a good role, and I expect Cam Smith to finally fill where he was drafted in the second round. And if you remember, he was drafted because he had decent production at South Carolina, but also his measurables are terrific for a boundary corner. 6'1", 205, which, by the way, that's what he's listed at now. He came into the league at 180, so he's put on some weight. Good length at arm, 31 and 5/8 inches. 40-yard dash, he's quick, 4.43 with a 38-inch vertical. He's an incredible athlete. I think he's going to be able to mix in well behind Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller this season, and you would probably expect that one of those two corners are going to miss 2 or 3 games just due to the fact they're old veterans and they're just going to get banged up throughout the year. Cam Smith will have to break out if this Dolphins secondary wants to have a really good year, and I do think he's going to be able to do it under Anthony Weaver and company. Final breakout candidate on today's show, Aaron Brewer, the center that is going to try to replace Connor Williams, who signed a 3-year deal in free agency with the Dolphins. I think he is a solid Connor Williams replacement. Listen, Williams was one of the best graded pass blockers and run blockers and just really overall centers in the entire NFL in his 2 seasons in the 305. The one knock on Williams was his inability to snap the ball consistently, but he was a terrific blocker. Brewer is going to give you something that Williams couldn't, though, and that is his absolute athleticism at that center spot. Brewer started the last 2 seasons at center for the Titans. He, by the way, played 17 games in each of the 2 years, which has been something Miami has not gotten a lot of from their interior offensive line. So it's nice to know that you're getting a guy who has played in 34 games in a row. Played in 12 the first 2 seasons, but he improved drastically from 22 to 23 in his second year as a full-time starter. Bumped his grade up by 12 in the overall. Really was good in the run blocking department. Still lacking in the pass block, but got better. The sacks allowed penalties are what they are, but you can tell that Brewer is getting better at what he's doing. There are some things that Brewer will have to improve on. He needs to be better in the pass blocking department. He still is graded out under 55 in the last 2 seasons as the Titans starting center, but he is one of the most athletic guys in the interior offensive line in the entire NFL. His run blocking grade shows that, going up to 78.7 from 2023. He is so quick getting to the second level. Brewer is going to help Miami significantly in the run department, getting into that second level, getting on the perimeter, getting in front of Mostert, Jalen Wright, Achane, and getting his hands on linebackers and safeties, which can spring out these deep 20-yard, 40-yard runs that the Dolphins' offense has been so accustomed to. I think Brewer is going to be massive for Miami in the run game department. That is 5 breakout candidates that I have my eye on for the Dolphins in 2024. I need you to name someone that could break out. You could second one of the top 5 guys I had on today's show. If you think there's someone else that I missed and didn't put down, let me know. Drop their name down in the comments section. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are going to bring you content on a daily basis, whether it be news, rumors, trade rumors, who I think could break out, ball analysis. We have it all here at Dolphins Today. So hit that sub button. I'll see you tomorrow live for Dolphins Today, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Go Fins.